and welcome. For Anthropose, this is Suraj Shrestha, and you're listening to the Anthropod, where I recount my experiences in and from Anthropose, entrepreneurship, and everything in between. In today's episode, I share with you my 3 personal learnings about cycling and entrepreneurship. It all started with the embargo of 2015 and the fuel shortage that came along with it. With necessity to move around and fuel shortage, cycling picked up as if overnight within the Kathmandu Valley. I was one of the individuals who picked up cycling then, and after that, it was as if cycling and I were meant to be. It was instantaneous. Childhood desire to ride a mountain bike had finally realized, and riding a proper mountain bike rekindled the childhood back on me. I had started cycling everywhere, commuting to the office, visiting relatives, attending seminars, even going to parties. Cycling had become a way of my life. Since then, I have added 2 cycles to my collection, one a cross-country and other an enduro cycle. Like with any adventure, cycling does that to you, testing your limits and style. It's magical. Although it's been a while that I haven't been able to ride as much as I wanted to after hurting my back almost 2 years ago, but now I think I have recovered enough to get back on the wheel. Contemplating on getting back on the wheels and looking back at the cycling days, I can't help but philosophize the lessons that I have learned and the similarities between cycling and entrepreneurship. And I share the same with you today. The first thing is the mindset. One can only enjoy cycling if one goes in with the right mindset. A mindset to enjoy not only the flat runs, but also the leg-trembling, breath-choking uphills on a blazing midday sun, or rock gardens on a fast, slippery downhills on a rainy day, or to enjoy uncountable cuts on your shins or calves while still learning to cycle properly. If not, it only becomes an unwanted punishment on yourself. Service it with entrepreneurship. The slow traction early days, high growth bad cash flow management days, the financing deals, the burn rate, supply chain malfunctions, and so forth. One has to be in it for both the hardship and the uphills, and the payoffs and the adrenaline pumping downhills. But how do you know if you have the right mindset? For me, I think it was when I first saw my cycle stand there. Its handlebars and the forward tilted geometry of its body and the tires. It stood there just perfect. I had no idea how good I was going to be at riding it, but I knew I wanted to go places with it. So was the case with my business idea for Anthropose. It excited me to see the opportunity to make beautiful eyewears, and the fact that it would enable me help the ones who couldn't. And that is when I knew I wanted to do it no matter what. It doesn't matter how slow you're going, but what matters is that you don't stop. The second lesson is to acknowledge that keep it moving is the name of the game. It's certain that one can't always have butter smooth flat roads to cycle on. It's only natural that one would encounter uphills, the most disliked aspect of cycling, I think, for most. What do you do when you hit an uphill? What you do is you slowly lower your gear shifters and keep pushing while leaning forward. You don't go fast, but you slowly keep climbing. You further lower your gear shifters and keep pushing, while a drop of your sweat runs down your forehead to the tip of your nose and then onto your handlebar. And still, you keep pushing. And then, you see better riders than you pass you by. But at this point, you well understand that the competition is not with them, but yourself. You keep pushing and pushing. You know your limits, your breaking point, your capability, and then you stop pedaling. You fall off your bike. You fail. You know, you can't stand still uphill without pedaling. And then You push your bike or maybe even ride on and off in between before you reach the hilltop. And a promise to ride better and how to do so on your next cycling trip. Eventually, you do ride the uphill better, faster, or maybe even sooner than others. So is it with entrepreneurship. You face operational or strategical hurdles. You do your best to resolve and go past it. You face it with all you have. You sometimes fail, but the failure only makes you better than you were the last time. The only thing that assures you get better at it and get the view from the hilltop is you don't stop and keep pedaling. With as much physically challenging cycling can be, the third lesson is not to forget to have fun while doing so. Every uphill is followed by a great flowy downhill. Mostly, sometimes another uphill. But there definitely is a great flowy downhill after the another one. And when you find that downhill, don't forget to pop a wheelie and enjoy the flow. And also, don't forget to look back at the hilltop once you reach the foothill and throw a smile at it and make your way home. You have reached the end of the second episode of the Anthropod. If you have made it this far, thank you for tuning in and staying with me. Where do you find your inspirations? I would love to hear about it from you. If you feel like sharing anything that you felt, feel free to leave me a voice message if you are listening to me on Anchor, or reach out to me in the comments below, or by writing to me at anthropod@anthropose.com. This is Mr. Suraj Shrestha signing off, hoping to catch you again in the next episode. Until then, take care and goodbye.